Why toxic people feel threatened by your silence. Have you ever noticed this? The moment you stop explaining yourself, the moment you stop reacting, the moment you choose silence, a toxic person becomes uncomfortable. They may accuse you of being rude. They may provoke you. They may suddenly act like you are the problem. But here's the truth. Your silence is not weakness, it's power. And today, we're breaking down the psychology of why toxic people feel deeply threatened when you stop reacting. Stay till the end because one reason explains everything. 1. Toxic people feed on reaction. Toxic people survive on emotional response. Anger, defensiveness, guilt, explanations. Every reaction you give them tells them, I still care, I am still available, you still control my emotions. Psychologists call this emotional reinforcement. When you argue back, justify yourself, or try to prove your point, you are knowing really world-they've behavior. But when you choose silence, that supply disappears. And when a toxic person loses their emotional supply, they don't feel calm, they feel panic. 2. Silence removes their sense of control. Toxic people are obsessed with control, not always loud control, sometimes subtle control. They want to control how you feel, control how you react, control how much space they occupy in your mind. Your silence takes that away, because now they don't know what you're thinking. They don't know how to manipulate you. They don't know if they still matter. And uncertainty is terrifying for controlling personalities. Silence tells them, you no longer have access to me. That's not something they can tolerate easily. 3. Silence exposes their behavior. Here is something powerful. When you stop reacting, their behavior becomes visible. No arguments to hide behind. No emotional choas to distract from the truth. Their manipulation stands alone, and deep down, toxic people know what they're doing. Your silence becomes a mirror that reflects their insecurity, their need for validation, their lack of emotional maturity. Instead of you looking difficult, they start looking desperate. Nothing threatens a toxic ego more than exposure. 4. Silence triggers their deepest fear, irrelevance. This is crucial. Toxic people fear one thing more than being disliked. They fear being irrelevant. Silence sends a brutal message. You are no longer important enough to react to. That hits their ego harder than any insult, because toxic people often tie their self-worth to attention, reaction, influence over others. When you go silent, you don't attack them. You simply withdraw your attention. And psychologically, that feels like rejection at the deepest level. 5. Silence breaks the drama cycle. Toxic relationships run on the cycle. Provocation, reaction, conflict, temporary calm, repeat. Silence breaks the cycle. No reaction means no argument, no drama, no emotional payoff. So what happens? The toxic person often escalates. They may say harsher things, guilt trip you, play the victim, not because silence is wrong, but because it's working. Escalation is a sign of lost power. 6. Silence shows emotional maturity. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Sales requires emotional strength. It means you don't need validation. You don't need to be understood by everyone. You don't need to win every argument. Toxic people often lack this maturity. So when they see you choosing peace over proving a point, they feel inferior, even if they never admit it. Your calm highlights their chaos, and that comparison threatens them. 7. Silence is its boundary, not punishment. Let's be clear. Silence is not passive aggression, manipulation, emotional shutdown. Healthy silence is a boundary. It says, I refuse to participate in disrespect. Toxic people hate boundaries, because boundaries mean limits, accountability, lots of access. And when someone loses access to you, they either respect it or reveal who they really are. Why silence is your quiet power. So why do toxic people feel threatened by your silence? Because silence removes their control, exposes their behavior, starves their need for reaction, and protects your peace. You don't owe everyone a response. You don't owe everyone an explanation. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all. If this helped you understand human behavior better, like, share, and subscribe for more psychology-based content. And remember, peace is louder than arguments.